Welcome to No Contingencies, a real estate live show with no filters, no BS, and no safety nets. This is episode 20 of our show. We're now on the air. I'm Liz Ryan.
I'm Parker Pemberton.
Oh, I'm Nicholas Worpole. Hi.
Hello, Nicholas. Hey, today's guest is one of our performance coaches here at Pemberton Real Estate. We're so excited to have him on the show. Please help me welcome Traivis Dykema.
Thank you, Liz.
No,
Hi,
hang on.
everybody.
Nick, come on.
Oh, sorry. You're right. That's my bad.
Every time. There you go. That's for you.
He'll get there. We'll train him up.
Yeah.
And hold on, before we move on too, we have a historic day. This has not happened on the podcast yet.
No, it hasn't.
It's Liz's birthday.
Woo! I'll provide my own applause. Thanks, Parker.
Liz,
Happy
you buried
birthday,
that
Liz.
lead.
I sure did, yeah.
Just hiding that one in the back.
Yeah, we're going to just leave that one off.
Liz is okay with the attention, but she doesn't seek it out. So I wanted to make sure that I supported that today.
So great. Thank you, Parker. You're the sweetest. All right, fine. Traivis, what month of the year is your birthday in?
February.
Ooh, February. Parker's March. You guys
March.
are spring babies. Love it. All right.
Did you know, short tangent, did you know, have you ever read the book Outliers?
No.
I listened to like the first half.
Okay, really good book. But they talk about people that are born in the first quarter of the year, and there's a proven statistical advantage in sports growing up if you're born in the first 90 days of the year. And so, like, the stat in the NHL actually is like, I'm gonna really screw this up. Actually, Nick, can you put it up? Can you run this through chat quick?
Yes, sir. I got it. Hold on.
The players that are born in the first 90 days of the year statistically have a better percentage of chance to go to the NHL. And then if you follow this to MLB, NBA, etc. You and I did not end up in professional sports.
No.
But maybe it also means you're a little bit better at real estate. I'm not sure.
They gave us a leg up in childhood, maybe, but
Yeah.
in the rest of the world, things level out.
Anyway, I didn't mean to distract. Once we find this stat, we'll come back to it. The relative age effect in youth leagues. Okay.
Oh, there you go. I share a birthday with Judy Garland, in case anyone was wondering. And Jeff Nobleza.
Jeff Nobleza, too.
Much love to
Anyway,
Jeff.
read the book Outliers. Fantastic book to read, but that whole chapter is really interesting.
That's so great.
Anyway.
Fun fact of the day.
Fun fact of the day. I love it. All right, Travis, tell us what you were
There you
doing.
go. Look at it.
Oh,
Look at
okay,
this
he's
stat.
got it.
I don't know
yeah.
if
Here we go.
people can
can't
see
see
this,
that
but look, it's so heavily weighted towards January, February, March.
Oh,
and then it falls off for
weird.
the year.
Yeah.
People,
Consistent decline.
NHL birth month distribution. It looks like it's got a 20-year draft period.
That's so strange.
Yeah. Well, in sports, especially back when we all grew up, you didn't have like the opportunity. You didn't have the different leagues and the different traveling sports, and you just had your one city league basically. And if you were playing with kids your age and you were born in February, and a kid was, and they did it by grade year. If you're playing with a kid from November, think about it. You have like 10 months of physical, mental development over somebody.
Yeah.
And that leads to further progress down the line. And nowadays, like, people hold their kids back in schools, or they move them up, or they move them down.
Yep.
Whatever. I just find that interesting.
Further tangent. In case you're following the boys volleyball state tournament, Eastview won the first round last night.
Wow.
Number 1 seed beat the number 8 seed. So they go to what's the second round of the playoffs called? Semifinals?
It depends.
Well,
Yes.
there's only 3 rounds. It's the second to last one.
That'd be
then
semis.
semis.
Okay, they're going to the semis against St. Michael Albertville. So
Right on.
keep them in your thoughts.
Let's go STMA. That's my hometown.
No, boo, boo.
That would be the ISD semis, correct? Not the Western Conference Finals, but
I don't know what words you're saying right now. I don't understand any of that.
Getting a little too far into the pond for you.
Yeah, way, way too far. Not the sports mom. Not my jam. Maybe you knew that about me. Okay, Traivis, let's talk about you.
Sure.
Okay, what were you doing before real estate?
I was in benefits consulting,
Woo.
which is a fancy, obscure language or term that encompasses what I did, which was dealing with retirement plans.
Okay.
So employer-sponsored retirement plans. So like 401k, 403b, non-qualified, 457, all those fun IRS and federal DOL guideline type arrangements. So
Okay,
helping,
wow.
we were an independent consulting firm and an advisory office. And we'd help ABC company establish those plans, monitor them, keep all their leadership out of orange jumpsuits every single year, check all their boxes, and keep them happy.
Okay, I mean, I'm obviously curious about the transition from that to real estate, but how did you get into that in the first place?
I fell into that out of college.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was 2008. So I was grateful for a job, grateful for an opportunity, grateful to have something that I could step into. Stepped into the back end and then realized really quickly I need to be out with the people and with what the opportunities and the relationships. So gradually made my way that direction over the course of 12 and change years, 15 years.
Interesting.
Wow.
Where'd you grow up?
Out near Wilmer, Minnesota,
Okay.
about 20 minutes west of there. Little tiny town called Raymond.
Oh, love it. All right, so 12 years or so in that field.
Yeah.
Then how do you make the jump to real estate?
Yeah, I kicked around real estate for probably 3 to 5 years prior to actually making the leap.
Really?
Played around with it. Really what it came down to is I saw a vision in the corporate world, and I was more excited to own and be in control of what I was after and what I wanted long term, both for myself, for my family, and for the growth that we were trying to kind of accomplish. Leaning on what I grew up with, which is growing up on the farm, working on houses. My folks built a house when I was in 4th, 5th grade. Yeah. We finished off the basement together, my brother and my dad. And so I had a pretty strong construction understanding and background knowledge of how houses work, how they function. I almost went to be an architect in college, so I love the design side as well.
Wow.
And kind of continued to do that as a hobby, so to speak, and enjoy that. So what I found is I really enjoyed people. I enjoyed solving problems for them, which I learned in the consulting space. And then I really enjoyed houses. So you kind of put the three of those together and it becomes the real estate side of the world. So that's how I landed here.
That's how you landed.
Well, in your first career too was a little bit of sales, but it was also mostly education, right?
Correct.
Educating your clients on their best options and their futures, right?
Correct. Yep.
That travels well over into real estate.
Absolutely. Yeah, both for clients and where I'm at now, helping from a coaching standpoint, right? Spreading that knowledge and educating much farther than just my client base.
So you're starting out as a real estate agent. Where is your business coming from?
Great question. So I jumped into the multifamily duplex space not long before interest rates changed. And that pipeline shifted drastically because all of those investors are looking at it as a math equation, right? Mm-hmm. And when their margins were already thin and interest rates popped, they all said, the smart ones all said, we're going to take a beat and let's see what happens. We don't need to make a jump right now. We have 40 doors, we have 120 doors, we have 20 doors. Let's just sit and see what happens here.
Yeah.
From there, I knew that I needed to pivot much more drastically into single family space. Yeah. As a result of that, I started chatting around the industry, finding teams that I could really leverage the back end support of to be able to run as fast as I could with my sphere. Yeah. And that's how I found myself along the steps to here.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. And so you joined Pemberton Real Estate back in January with a bunch of your friends from Hopkins. Yes. How did you end up with AJ Pedersen and the advisory group?
Yeah. AJ and I have a really good mutual friend.
Really?
And neither one of us had heard about each other yet until I had coffee with that mutual friend. In that time of analyzing, seeing what I had for options, how do I leverage my sphere? How do I grow this business outside of the multifamily duplex space? And sitting down with that coffee said, you need to meet AJ. Aww. Had one coffee with AJ and chatted with my current and or previous mentor at the time. And he said, that sounds like perfect fit for you. I'd love to do business with you down the road, but that sounds like a great fit right now. Yeah. And made the change a week later. So, yeah.
We all know in this room that AJ and AJ's team was just a fantastic setup. Tell us what things about that format, that context worked well for you as an agent.
That's a great question. Culture is the very first thing that comes to mind.
Yep.
And you guys know that again too, right? In this room, it's a big reason why we all work together well with the big change in January as well. Culture and the riffing off of what Parker mentioned earlier, the education. Yeah. In the office, not only did I have an opportunity to learn from all of them, I had an opportunity to pretty quickly step into a teaching spot as well, and helping new agents coming onto our team go out and train on how to show a house, how to understand a house, how they function, how they work, how much things cost, how long should they last, and then help them leverage that to add significant value when they're going out and meeting new clients, whether it be a lead, someone in their sphere, etc. Instead of just opening a door and saying, "What do you think?" There's not a whole lot of value there, right?
Right.
And on the heels of that, not long later, a couple of years later than our settlement, we really all had to pivot and figure out exactly what our value was, so that we could leverage our business going forward and kind of deal with the tides and the changings and the new waves coming off the ocean, and figure out how to calm those waters. And the best way to do that is to figure out what's my value and how do I bring that to my clients every single day.
Yeah. You are one of those rare souls, both with advisory and now here with Pemberton as a larger group, who enjoys and is very, very patient and good at working with brand new agents, right? And you in our space, it's you and Allison Deal are our two pillars of the newer agents, and we appreciate that so much. What do you like the most about working with brand new agents?
Yeah, it's kind of like working. I'll parallel it a little bit with working with brand new buyers when they're fresh. You have an opportunity to walk through a house and teach them and educate. And when you see the light bulbs go on for those new clients that are first-time buyers or for new agents, to the second, third, maybe the fourth or fifth time you're going through a different house, they're the ones calling out the things that you're teaching them before you notice it.
Yeah.
That's incredibly rewarding. So educating and then seeing those results and seeing the light bulbs come on, not only on knowledge of homes and knowledge of how to negotiate the contracts, but just how to run a business and how to grow what they're trying to do and help them paint the picture of their vision for their business.
Now, you're a dad too.
Very much so.
Yes. I'm sorry, but so much of what you say I just have this feeling that this is how you are with your children as well. Right? Like, is that one of the things that you love about kids as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many kids do you have?
We have 5 kiddos.
5 children.
Yeah.
And what's the age range?
Our girls are 15 and 13, and our boys are 10, 7, and 2.
And 2.
Yeah.
You are still in the thick of it for
Very
a
much
lot
so.
of years left.
Yep. We were out of diapers for a little while, and now we're back in them, and hopefully we'll get on them again soon.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
we have
funny.
one with a permit and one in diapers. So we're figuring out how to do all the things.
Yeah, honestly, you encompass both Parker's children's ranges and most of mine as well. So there's that. That's great. Okay, so new agents.
Mm-hmm.
What's your best piece of advice for brand new agents? What's going to set them up for success?
It's a great question, and honestly, it's probably the same answer regardless of how far into your business you are. It's consistency. So the more consistent we can be with our follow-up, with our checkpoints, with our reach outs, I would argue it's more important in the early stages because it's brand new and it's a harder pill to swallow every day. And we build that muscle as we grow in the business.
Yeah.
So early on, it's tough to figure out, well, okay, consistency, great, but what am I consistent in?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing early on is meet with as many people as you physically possibly can.
Right.
And I've coached a lot of agents out of, I'm driving too much, I'm running around too much. Like, that's how we do this business, especially in the early days. We have to get our hours in, we have to get our miles in, and we have to get our time spent with our people. So however they connect best with their population, sometimes it's social, sometimes it's texts and emails and more of a digital world, especially for the younger generations.
Yeah.
However, I'm seeing a lot of that pivoting back to in person.
For sure.
And so I think we all are, regardless of age and generation. And so getting in front of folks, if you think you need to meet with 5 people a week, make it 10. If you think you need to meet with 10 people a week, make it 15, 20, right? And have those coffees, have those connections, go for a walk, take the dog out, start talking to people and engaging the world around you.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the opportunities that are present and provided for.
Absolutely. Parker, what do you think is the biggest? I mean, I think we all know this, right? Like, the more meetings you have, the more success you're going to have. What holds agents back from that? Like, why do you think that doesn't happen?
It's human nature.
Yeah.
Human nature. It's the path of least resistance. I mean, in almost all aspects of life, most people will choose the easiest path. And so I think the biggest difference, just looking at this industry from 2011 forward is the expectation when they get into it. The expectation that it's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be filled with social media, and people are going to come to you, right? They're just going to flock to you. And I think just like being real about that up front, which is how I try to tell people, consult them, of like the real actual things that you need to do, I think is the best way to prepare them personally.
Yeah.
But the human being still has to do the things, right? They still have to meet the people.
Yep.
Well, and I wonder too, or I guess I think too, one of the reasons that new agents resist a little bit is a little bit of imposter syndrome, right? And feeling like, sure, I can meet with them, but what am I going to say, right? And how do you get them past that?
It's a great question. Imposter syndrome is everywhere.
Right?
It's a buzzword for sure these days, but it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I was even coming into this, sitting with you guys, sitting down here, jumping on the podcast. I'm like, great. What do I have to offer? Right? There's that little tiny voice that all of a sudden pops up. And I think the quicker I can help them understand, yes, it takes hard work, but be grateful for the hard work.
Yeah.
Be grateful for the opportunity to work hard and to learn. If we're always in a constant state of learning, then who am I, right? I'm not on a pedestal. None of us are. No. We all have an opportunity to grow and learn together, whether it's in life or it's in business. And so growing and understanding in humility that we have an opportunity to care for and work hard for the people in our presence, and whether that be clients or just the neighbor down the street that needs some help. All of that. It's work hard and then take care of the people around you in a posture of humility. And how can I help?
Yeah.
Funny you should say that, because Liz and I were literally talking about this yesterday. I'm in our office and we're just talking about, like, I'm like, Liz, even I have done 15 years of making videos, of talking to people, of like understanding, of guiding them through a process. And I sometimes sit there and I'm like, why are you asking me? Like, I don't even think I'm good at this. So no, and obviously I know that I am. You work through it in a way, the more experience you have, you know how to just talk to yourself. No, you've done this so many times, but you can't escape it.
No, that's absolutely true, Parker. What Nick is talking about is just the feeling of, even though you've done something for a long time but still not feeling entirely confident, or like you do truly have the expertise that got you. And I mean, this is a worthwhile tangent for just a second. Parker and I talk about this all the time. I mean,
we feel the same thing.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah, both personally and as a company. We're like, oh man, I mean, we've had this amazing growth, but you question every day, are we doing enough? Are we doing the right things? Are we making the right choices?
Yeah, the thing that helps me with that is, and you just had an episode of that yesterday, by the way. Wait, the text you sent me in the morning.
Oh my God, I 100% do. I texted Parker and I said, I hate it when it's Tuesday company meeting and you're not here and I'm by myself up here. He was very helpful.
Yeah, leading a meeting for 300 plus people. I mean, and I think it's a good thing, actually, to have a little bit of that feeling, because it means that you're not egotistical or worse, narcissistic, think you know everything. So a little bit of it is okay, but what focuses me back on progress and action is focusing on one or two things that I need to get done today in order to have success for the day.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people just get overwhelmed by all the things. And like, for instance, for public speaking, for example, if I go up there with the mindset of like, I'm worried about how I sound, I worry about how I look, I worry about where I walk, I'm not focused on something that's important. Like, I'm up here to provide value and help people today. If I just come from a perspective of helping people today and giving them something of value, regardless of if they like it or not, at least I'm coming from the right perspective. Right? So if we bring this back to the conversation we're having, which is agents meeting with people, it's how can you provide value to people today? How can you be of utility to the other people you encounter?
Right.
And I love how AJ talks about this too. And his actually comes from more of like a faith-based perspective.
Yeah.
Mine just comes from just be a contributor to all things. Like, just try to be useful to all encounters you have today. And I think, Traivis, like, at the end of the day, if you're useful to people, they find value in that and they find you to be helpful, right? Mm-hmm. I know we did kind of a big roundabout there, but
no,
That's a great way to circle back, though.
Yeah.
To how are we useful? How do we care for the people around us? And if we're too focused on ourselves, or we think we've arrived, right? Which I use that word a lot when I'm thinking about the ego of self. If we think we've arrived, boy, something's off up here, which means it's going to mess up everything else. Because then we're focused on ourselves, and we're not seeing the needs that are in front of us. We're blind to the actual needs that we can do, that we can be and be useful to your point.
Travis's advice there to like new agents is actually just advice to everybody. If you think about it,
Yes.
it's the same thing. But when you're new to the industry, you need a little bit more direction, and you need to know exactly what to do or what to focus on. And at our brokerage, that's what we aim to do, no matter where you're at. You know, we have $25, $30 million producers at this company, and we also have brand new people at this company. But if everybody knows one or two things that if they execute on that today and they're focused on that, we know that the ball is going to be moved down the field in all aspects. But if we wake up and we don't have that plan in place, then what are you really working towards? You're kind of just moving it to the side backwards all around the field, right?
Yep.
So what so you're a brand new agent, you're following this advice. What differentiates the group of people who then kind of take off from there and have a really successful real estate career, and the folks who, kind of sell a couple homes and then say, you know what, I just got to go back and take a full-time gig somewhere? What's the differentiator?
That's a interesting question. I think it varies in some ways. I would say one key that I encourage and emphasize with new agents is show up in the office. Show up, treat it like a full-time job, if you will, depending on what their job was. But if you're in the office, I not only tell them to show up to the office, but I intentionally tell them eavesdrop as much as you can when you're in the office. Listen in, and don't be bashful to ask questions, and don't be bashful to say, hey, can I tag along to that? Or what did you mean by that? Because I've never even heard that language out of the classes that I just came out of, right? There's so many nuances in our world that the education side and the CE side help, but it's only a foundation. We need to build upon that, and there's so many different avenues. So show up, and then, which is also a riff off the consistency we talked about earlier. Yeah. So showing up is a consistency, and then those meetings with people. I think there's depending on the personality, I then will encourage or push people in different ways, right? So if they're achievers, and I can tell that early on, they're performance based, or they're achievers. If we go Enneagram, they're in that like 3-6-9 kind of triad thing. For any of you, any Enneagram nerds out there, I know Nick's one of them probably.
I'm a 7.
There you go. That explains a lot. Anyway, if they're more really performance based, then it's cheering them on, right? Because they already have the self motivation to pursue and to hunt and to go out and to actively care for people. So it's cheering them on and being a cheerleader, and then feeding them along the way. If that's not their kind of default wiring, then it's maybe a little more push and a little more encouragement towards those things to get out there. So yeah.
Traivis, can I just jump on that point you made? It's that you said tag along. Ask if you can tag along. I think that's a little underrated, because there are so many activities that an experienced agent is not going to mind you tagging along on, right? or even just sitting in the room with people who are going over certain things with our wonderful TCs and LCs. You're going to learn so much, but I don't think that occurs to a lot of people, to say, hey, can I just sit in on this? Can I watch it? You're waiting for the invite, but just ask.
No, that's exactly right, Nick. And it can be as simple sometimes as just hearing the agent's side of a phone call. I mean, I think even just listening in on how people are advising clients, or how they're negotiating with the agent on the other side, is a massive learning experience.
Absolutely. And new agents not only showing up to the office, getting out with the people, but learning.
Yeah. Like
carving out time in your day, in your week, to actually dig into this industry and learn. Yeah. And that might mean shadowing an inspection.
Sure.
Because there's all kinds of things. A really good inspector is going to teach and educate really, really well. Yeah. It might mean shadowing a listing appointment. It might mean shadowing a buyer side at a Zillow lead, which is a very different experience than sitting down and going or first meeting with your aunt, uncle, friend, family member at a showing.
Yeah.
Right? Those are two entirely different worlds. Your scripting is different. Your opportunities are different. How you care for those people and build trust is different. And so shadow along on each of those pieces and build that education so that, to Parker's point earlier, be useful. Even early on in this business, we have an agent right now that joined a couple of weeks ago, and he's just absolutely running super, super fast, but he's carving out time to learn. He's reading, he's following along, he's shadowing, he's doing the right stuff to educate himself really, really quickly to then support these leads, support these clients that he's running with. And he's finding wins really fast, which is amazing.
This is William.
Yes, it is.
Shout out, William. Well done, my friend. Okay, and I've heard you mention this a couple times, the distinction between a showing with Sphere and people that you know versus a showing with Zillow leads. What's the distinction there for you?
Great question. With a Zillow, well, let's start with the Sphere side. I think that's an easier one, or easier to conceptualize pretty quickly, which is trust is usually built in. At least 75% of it's already established because of a warm handoff or a strong referral, or they're already in your world. They know you.
Yeah.
So that's an easy trust hurdle to step over, and you're already in their camp. You're on their side of the table, as in the corporate world. You're already on their side of the table, which is great.
Yeah.
In the Zillow world, they're brand new. They don't know you from the neighbor down the street that they've never met. So that's an opportunity to, number one, be professional, show up on time, which you should be doing for your Sphere too, but it's especially important to get there ahead of time, prep things, be ready.
Yeah.
Your scripting is very different. So when you meet that Zillow lead for the very first time, I focus and train almost exclusively on how do I pick this house apart and be an expert in the home, not necessarily trying to win them over.
Yeah.
Selling away from a house is 99% of the time going to be the win and get you on their side of the table quicker, because you're looking out for their best interest.
Right.
And you're looking out for what matters for them. Obviously, there's a lot of scripting and questions around finding out who they are, their motivations, their why, their goals, what are they actually after? Because they may have just hit a button being curious, but they actually don't know what they're after.
Yeah.
And don't know what they're doing. So there's a lot of questions around that too. But in particular, it's really being an expert in the homes themselves to speak to what's wrong, what may cost them money in the next 2 to 5 years in large dollar amounts.
Right.
Instead of just saying, what do you think of the floor plan?
Yeah.
I'll walk into those rooms and I'll say, you guys go look at the house. Tell me what you think about the floor plan, because pictures lie all the time. So go walk through the house. I'm going to go look at the stuff that's going to cost a lot of money, potentially, in the next 2 to 5 years, so that your eyes wide open. This is still the house for you. Great. But I want you to be eyes wide open about it.
Yeah.
I love that. And I would say it's not just Zillow, it's any source where you just met them for the first time. Could be an open house lead.
Absolutely.
Could be whatever, because you need to form that rapport with the person. You need to form the trust. But back to the Sphere side, I learned in my first year, working with family can be really difficult.
It can be.
The only time I went to arbitration was with a family member. And when I look back, it was a great learning experience. And what I learned from it was that I took that relationship for granted and rushed through all the important details of starting the business relationship off the right way.
Yeah.
And so because I got to go through that early, I learned quick that just because you know somebody, you can't underestimate the professional relationship.
Right.
And so I always go into it. If it's my brother, I'd say, hey, Taylor, obviously we're brothers, but I want to let you know that as a professional, I don't take this for granted whatsoever. This really excites me that I get to help you guys find a home or sell your home. But if it's okay with you, I would really like to treat you just like all of my other clients.
Yes.
And that starts with setting expectations from the start, and then you put them through the buyer consult. You tell them exactly, you kind of paint that roadmap of what's to come. Because I didn't paint that for my sister-in-law and ended up, and that's a scary thing going through that in your first year.
Yeah.
But I would say, for anybody working with Sphere, you should set that tone early just so you have that professional relationship. And I tell them too, I'm going to treat you just like I treat all my clients.
Yep.
And if not, I'm going to be a little bit harder on you even.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that rapport is already there.
Yeah.
You can go there with them. Yep.
Because haven't you seen, I don't know if you've had this personally, you're a really likable guy, but you get into the Sphere sale and something goes wrong and shit just hits the fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you have a personal conflict or you
Yes.
lose a friend or you...
Yes.
Or,
Well, and even if the transaction goes super smooth, you still want it to result not just in them having a successful outcome, but you want them to refer you to people in their life.
Yeah,
and
correct.
much more likely for that to happen if they feel like they've been treated as if you were a professional.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to stub your toe on sphere business because that could influence all the rest of your sphere, right? The rest of your family. Absolutely. That's a great point, Parker, from a professionalism standpoint, not overstepping that stuff and just assuming that because they bought a house 5 years ago, they not understand and know all of that. You have no idea what that experience was if you were not the one that helped them.
Yeah.
Parker, your business started with a lot of, back at the beginning, with a lot of leads, people that you didn't have a relationship with. How did you establish trust with those folks? I'm not sure we've ever had this conversation.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got handed 6 pages of spreadsheets of names and phone numbers and emails. And I was told, hey, they clicked a button at some point in the past. And I was like, well, wait, hold on. They haven't bought homes yet? And, he was like, well, no, we don't know that yet, but you got to find that out. And I was like, well, okay. So if I can find out A or B, if they've bought or if they've transacted, if they transacted, great. I'm going to put them in my database and market to them and show them that I'm an industry advisor. And if they haven't, I'm going to try to get in and try to earn that relationship. Right. So I saw 2 opportunities there.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really good opportunity to go above and beyond and show them what great real estate service is from the start. Because if somebody is clicking a button online, that means that they don't have a trusted source that they plan to go to. But they might have transacted before. They might not have liked that agent. They might not have been from the area. They might have, selling a house in even just a different MLS is different from our MLS or a different state, right? So I would go in there and I would just try to show them that I was the best communicator, the best educator, the best advisor. And every single day I would try to do something that added value to their life.
Yeah.
I think people saw that persistence and they're like, this guy's on top of it.
Yeah.
This is a hustler. And if I'm buying a home, I want a hustler. I don't want someone that's like sitting on their ass waiting for me to send them homes.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And really like the key to all of that was I just went off of the MLS hot sheets and I got up earlier than people and I wasn't afraid to send texts and emails at 5:30 or 6 a.m. because I knew that when they're getting out of bed, the first priority to them of the day isn't necessarily the house or their home search. It's probably like waking their kids up. It's probably getting ready for work. It's probably like living life. But then when they open the email and they see Parker right there, bright and early, hey, I was thinking about you this morning. This home just hit the market. Let me know if you want to swing by over lunch and take a look. Well, I don't know. Whoever's listening to this, you tell me, is that the way you'd want your real estate agent to be? Or would you want to get to your lunch break or your bathroom break and scroll through homes and you're like, hey, Traivis, can we go see this tonight? Mm-hmm. Can we go see this on Saturday? Like, no. That might have worked in COVID, but doesn't work anymore.
Doesn't work now.
Yeah,
That's why people go to the portals. The portals wouldn't be in business if real estate agents just did their job in the first place. Think about it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And really what I mean by that is they did their job in the transaction, but also after the transaction. Like a lot of real estate agents get the check and that's it.
Yeah.
No systems, no relationship. And they just let that person float into space. And then, the next time around, you're not very memorable. My opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, past client follow-up, right? It's especially for new agents who are relying on those company leads, whether it be Zillow, what have you, or a lead gen source of some sort. The quicker you can turn those into referrals long-term, that's how you grow this business. And so you have to have a system post-close because how else are they going to remember you?
Yeah.
Right. Everybody else and their brother agents in their neighborhood are sending mailers. They're shooting things out. And I forget what the age-old statistic, anyways, was something off the charts of the realtor they're most likely going to work with is the last piece of mail they got, right? And so, well, do you want them running with the last piece of mail or pressing a button, or do you want them calling you 2 months later or 2 years later or what have you when they have something go wrong? I always tell my clients, my Rolodex is yours. So if you need it, that's one of my key ways to stay in front of people. Is everybody needs a contractor, whether you're doing renovations, whether you're doing some sort of a design plan and rebuild or new construction, or their plumbing backs up and you got some sort of an issue and it's an emergency. Do you want to call the 800 number or do you want to actually know who's going to show up? right? So the Rolodex is a key piece for me. But yeah, we got to stay in front of people.
Yeah. One of the things that I kind of pay attention to is like, if I'm the oh shit first call from one of my past clients, that means that I've done a good job of staying in touch and showing my value.
Absolutely.
Because they come to me, Parker, hey, this is going, hey, I had a brick fall off my chimney. What do I do? Well, great. I'm glad you're coming back to me. That means that you trust me.
Yep.
Right? Here are 2 contractors that we work with, and here's 2 chimney contractors. Like, let me help you along the way, right?
Yep.
It's not that hard to check in after that consult or help them compare prices, or it's just easy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, but I have to tease you a little bit. When you say my Rolodex is your Rolodex, do they look at you like, what the hell does that mean?
That is a great. I do have to change the language a little bit for the younger crowd.
I like it. I feel like I'm imagining a group of our agents right now, and if you said that that's what you wanted them to say to a client, I just imagine them giving you this look like, what in God's name are you talking about?
Yeah,
okay.
anybody 30 and under probably has
Right?
no idea what that is.
Well, here's the thing I want to
knows.
say is that, yes, you're right, but also then you get the Gen Alpha. You get my 10-year-old who's obsessed with things like VCRs. They're like they're
Yes.
like diving back into the old stuff and bringing out cassette tapes again. And you're like, cassettes were bad in the first place. What are we
I
even
know.
talking about?
They were horrible. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
using your
Nick.
pinky to rewind them, and
Yes.
that's terrible.
Don't get me
Exactly.
started, Travis.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I think we could talk to you forever, but we have reached the end of our time. I want to ask you a last question, though. What is your favorite question to ask an agent that you're working with?
Ooh. Well, new agents especially. That's
Yeah.
what first thing that pops in my mind. I am really curious about people's why.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a buzzword, but
Well,
it's a motivator, right?
Yeah.
What motivates you? That helps me understand what you're trying to accomplish, why your trajectory is headed in a particular direction,
yeah.
and why you're motivated to be here in the first place. Because when things do get sticky, when things do get hard, we have to reset and remember our why. Because we get lost in the fog of the busyness of the details and the stress of the job, because all jobs are stressful. We have to be able to reset and come back to that. This is why I'm doing what that is. So shout out Simon Sinek and kind of the why movement that
Right.
kicked off maybe a decade ago now. That's constantly part of kind of the early discussions with agents. And that is a great discussion with agents of all ages and all career paths and
Right.
time in the industry, but especially new ones,
Yeah.
to help them set that trajectory early on.
Yeah.
I would also say
I love that.
that is considered their mission, identifying what their mission is. You have to be mission based behind what you do. Because if you come into this industry and I just want to make a lot of money, yeah, you're not going to last very long. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
But if you have a true mission behind what you do and the purpose behind what you do, like you said, that's sustainable.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Gives you something you can always go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Well, that is it for today's episode of No Contingencies. Travis, thank you so much for sitting with us. We enjoyed this.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks, Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
Hold on.
What?
It's a special day. It's your birthday.
I know.
So I just want to say happy birthday, Liz.
Thank you, Nick. You're very sweet. Hey, if you got value from this conversation, please take a second to share it with another agent who's serious about growing in this market. If you're looking for a brokerage that's forward-thinking, accountability-driven, and built for the next chapter of real estate, we should talk. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
There it is. There's the applause.
Thanks, guys. This was fun.